We are going to look at how to problem solve using trigonometry. So whenever you want to solve a problem that involves trigonometry, the very first thing you want to do is draw a picture. And then once you draw your picture, label your known parts. And then after you know your parts, you can determine what law to use, either law of sines or law of cosines. And then once you know what law to use, you can solve the problem. So for example, let's say you have a ladder that is 18 foot and the angle between the legs is 25 degrees. And you want to know how far apart are the legs from each other. The ladder is going to make kind of like a triangle shape with the floor. So the first thing we want to do is label. What is that 25 degrees that's in between the two legs? What angle would that be? Okay, it should be angle B because that's where the legs are meeting, is at angle B. So what law should you be using? Okay, so you're trying to find the distance between the legs, which is B, and you know that the ladder is 18 foot, so this would be 18 and this would be 18. So you know two sides and an included angle, and you're wanting to find the other side. So you would need to use law of cosines. Okay, so using law of cosines, that would be the b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b. So we would have b squared equals 18 because the ladder is 18 feet. 18 squared plus 18 squared minus 2, 18 times 18 cosine 25. And then we would go ahead and use our calculator to calculate all of that, making sure that we're in degree mode. And then don't forget the last step is to square root. And when we square root, we end up with 7.8 feet after we round to the nearest tenth. Type of problem that you might encounter is a lighthouse. So let's say you have a ship that radios a lighthouse and says that the angle between the line of sight to the lighthouse and the line of sight to an island is 20 degrees. And then the lighthouse radios back the angle between his line of sight to the ship and his line of sight to the island is 40 degrees. He also says that he is 10 miles from the island. So how can we figure out how far it is from the ship to the island? To draw a triangle to represent what is going on between the three things, the island, the ship, and the lighthouse. So remember the ship said its line of sight was 20 degrees, and the lighthouse said it was 40 degrees, and it said that the lighthouse said the distance between the lighthouse and the island was 10, and you are trying to find the distance from the ship to the island. So because you have the 20 degrees and the side opposite to it, remember if you have one known corresponding, you would want to use law of sines. And a proportion, so sine of 20 over 10 would be equal to sine of 40 over c. And then to solve for c, we would cross multiply. So c times sine 20 equals 10 sine 40. So c would be equal to 10 times sine 40 divided by sine 20, which gives us approximately 18.8 miles. The way that we can use trigonometry in problem solving is airplanes. So let's say you have two airplanes that leave an airport at the same time and fly at paths that make a 65-degree angle from each other. And so one plane is traveling 200 miles per hour and the other is flying at 180 miles per hour. And then the question is, how far apart are they after 1 hour? So you can make a triangle. Labeling what you know, you have to decide what law you would want to use. So after 1 hour, you want to see how far apart they are, and you know the other two sides because they gave us the miles per hour, but you want that last one, so you would end up using law of cosines. Okay, if you would like to look at more examples, there's more example in your textbook, so definitely check those out as well.